You seeing this as a negative thing? The man walked all the way, fought a battle, burned down a city to get back his wife. It's not a small thing.
But then he again gave her an Agni Pariksha, he didn't trust his wife.
See, if I can correct that.
Please.
I'm asking you, what kind of man do you want in your life?
Exactly, that is my point. The way Sita was treated.
This is the Dhritarashtra syndrome from then to now.
Since you've mentioned Mahabharata, Ramayana and all the scriptures, and also we've been speaking about
If I can correct that.
Please.
See, we should not misunderstand what is a scripture and what is a very organic way of writing our history. An epic is a historical document written in a lively form so that it's relevant to you all the time. See, right now, the modern way of… Western way of writing history is like this. This king came, he killed so many people, he did this, he did that, he died. And next one came, he did this, he did that, he died. What are you going to do with this? I'm saying 1,000 years ago, somebody lived or died, what does it matter to you? But when you read Ramayana Mahabharat, these are live stories so that you can relate it to you even today. So this is genuinely learning from the past. Because the basis of being human is just this, that we can learn from somebody else's experience. All the nonsense need not happen to us. By seeing something is happening to somebody, we can learn. Maybe it happened 5,000 years ago, but we can still correct our lives by looking at what happened to them. So, historical documents written in a very organic way need not be mistaken for scriptures. There is nothing scriptural about Mahabharata or Ramayana, they're just stories. History which is written in a way that will always be relevant for people's lives.
Exactly, that is my point. Mahabharata, Ramayana, they are very, very relevant to our society. And when you look at Ramayana, the way Sita was treated, these examples of women being treated by men the way they want to treat them, they have certainly left an imprint in the minds of Indian men. There's no doubt about that. Since you said these are the learning that we take from the past, and we have dramatized them, put them in a very good way, and our grandfathers recite these poems, and these are day-to-day household stories. So my question to you, Sadhguruji, is, when you have to learn from these things, when you have been learning from these things from generations, Ramayana, Mahabharata and many more stories, how do we expect the current Indian man to not treat his wife like Sita, not treat his wife like Draupadi? I mean, for this generation, we truly want to understand, how do you, unlearn these things that we have learned all our life? And how do you hit a refresh button and start all over again by looking at a woman as a respectable figure, as an individual, as a person living and some thinking in her? How do we teach this to our children? That is what I want to learn.
Let me ask the ladies, would they like to be treated like Sita? Let me put it in the right perspective. Suppose you were living in Uttar Pradesh, not today, 5,000 years ago, and a man came from Sri Lanka and kidnapped you. Would you like a man who will walk all the way to Sri Lanka to find you, or find a practical solution locally, because anyway he was king? I'm asking you, what kind of man do you want in your life? The man walked all the way, fought a battle, burned down a city to get back his wife. It's not a small thing.
But then he again gave her an Agni Pariksha, he didn't trust his wife.
See,
so, I mean…
we are taking these words literally. Agni Pariksha did not mean somebody has to enter the fire. It meant she was put through some test. Of course, because you're the king, everybody's looking at you as an ideal. How you behave, what you do is very important because the entire nation's life depends on you. Today, our biggest problem is this in the country. This is the Dhritarashtra syndrome from then to now, okay? So, he is setting an example in those days. It doesn't matter, she's pregnant. That means his sons are inside. For a king, his sons are important because it's an empire. But in spite of that, he sends her to the jungle because otherwise there's disruption in the country. You seeing this as a negative thing? I think we need such prime ministers and leaders in this country. No matter what, for the well-being of the nation, they will do what is needed.
7 parts of Ramayana.
The original Ramayana was written a long time ago by sage Valmiki. It had 7 parts. However, some experts are not sure if Valmiki wrote all of this first book and if the last book is real, because there are some reasons to doubt them.
Kanda.
Kanda is like a book that tells the story of when Rama was a young boy and teenager. It talks about all the things he did during that time.
Ayodhya Kanda.
Ayodhya Kanda is like the first part of a story called the Book of Ayodhya. It's all about the king named Dasharatha and his kingdom called Ayodhya. In this part, some important scenes happen which help to start the story. One of these scenes is when Dasharatha talks to his wife Kaikeyi and they have a big argument. Another part is when the main character Rama has to leave the kingdom and go live in the forest.
Aranya Kanda.
Aranya Kanda is a part of a story called the Ramayana. It is about a time when the main characters Rama and his wife Sita had to live in a forest for 14 years. During this time, a bad person named Ravana kidnapped Sita.
Kishkindhya Kanda.
Kishkindhya Kanda is a book that tells a story about a place called Kishkindhya, where Rama, a brave hero, lived. In this story, Rama goes on a mission to find his wife Sita, who has been kidnapped. He meets a powerful Vanara named Bali.
Sundara Kanda.
Sundara Kanda is a part of a book that talks about characters called Hanuman, who is a very powerful. In this part of the book, some passages describes beautiful landscapes while Rama travels. It also talks about Rama and his friends arriving in a special place called Lanka.
Yuddha Kanda.
Yuddha Kanda is a book that tells the story of war between good and evil. In this story, the powerful and mean king named Ravana kidnaps a princess named Sita. Ravana is eventually defeated by a brave prince named Rama, who is also rescues Sita. After the war, Rama and Sita go back to their kingdom called Ayodhya, and Rama becomes the king. So Yuddha Kanda is about the war, the rescue of Sita, and the happy ending where Rama becomes a king.
Uttara Kanda.
Uttara Kanda is a book about what happens after the main story of Rama. It tells us about Rama's life in Ayodhya, how his wife Sita was sent away, and the birth of their twin sons Lava and Kusha. It also talks about what happened to Sita after she died. Finally, it tells us about Rama going up to heaven. On this January 22nd, let us all welcome Rama back to Ayodhya by lighting a lamp and celebrate a Deepavali at your home. Write your valuable opinions about the video in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Pranam.